The detective type that's willing to take on any case you could charge him with, making his grand debut. It is DTT00 Mystery Leader, coming to the game with a kit of Fighter Core, Effect Clear, Flash, Wheeled Legs, and the leg ability of Land Cruiser, which grants S rank to grassland terrains in addition to the leg's standard matches. Now, we have been teased and announced with this model in the weeks previous up to this point, just with art, and then of course with the highlight of the short-term mangas being posted in Manga Hot, again prior to the launch of upcoming Story Mode Arc 6 and the Detective type's debut and release. But it is still good to see him make the leader type's debut all the same. Fighter Core is a brand new skill being added to the game. Basically, all it is Cyber Core plus Fight Boost being added, so yet another kind of unique variant on a support-based skill, gearing more towards a certain kind of team build, which is always great all the same, to kind of make for that more focused team build, if you want to focus more on dedication and dedicated skills more than all-around balance. Effect Clear is a melee-based skill that will check the incoming target for any positive effects in play, and not only remove them, but also grant damage and punish damage for every positive effect that is removed from Effect Clear. And then last but not least, Flash is basically Deathlock light to a point where if you can catch the foe in heat phase, it will automatically cancel their incoming action, force them into cooldown phase from wherever they're at on the field, and also render them unable to dodge or defend until they finish their cooldown. And I believe their next heat phase while they're at it, as kind of an additional punish on top of that. So pretty much not necessarily a dedicated fighter by any means, but more of a dedicated and aggressive melee support more than anything else, and occasional punisher to a point. Effect Clear, of course, is always great for anyone that maybe will use Dominion or Stat Cleanse, or anything that may grant positive buffs to kind of make things very annoying and frustrating on your end. And then, of course, Flash, even though it isn't a necessarily overly powerful ailment, for lack of better terms, it can still prove very viable all the same, whether you catch the foe in heat phase or not, as a very solid punish skill for someone to come up behind Mystery Leader and finish the job. As a pure set score, even though he is relatively well balanced across the board, I do have to rate him a pretty solid 6.5 out of 10, kind of middle of the road essentially for what he does offer. Even though he is wheeled legs, that does honestly hinder a lot of his viability, but his leg ability of Land Cruiser does make up for this greatly, as it gives him an additional leg of terrain that the legs are good on, which even with wheeled legs means he is going to have the fastest mobility on the field, and of course the more terrains that the wheeled legs are good on, the better it will be for him in the long run. He is honestly pretty well balanced across the board too, about 3600 HP for that head, about 3k per arm, about 3950 for his legs, all honestly pretty nice. Mobility of 933 is kind of standard and par for the course with wheeled legs, of course. Melee resist of 1276 means he's going to be really nice up close and personal, and being able to hold his own without taking too much damage. Shoot resist of 917 isn't too shabby either, but not the greatest there is. An evade of 947 isn't too shabby either, meaning he may not dodge everything, but it is certainly up to the realm of possibility when he is capable of doing so. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I do have to rate him just a little bit higher at a 7 out of 10, given that his skills are honestly pretty viable just about anywhere, depending on where you choose to use them. Whereas one of Mystery Leader's big pain points is that he does lack pierce damage potential, meaning that as a pure set, he is pretty much designed and dedicated solely as a support and punish fighter more than a dedicated one. Whereas if you use him for mixed parts, Fighter Core, Effect Clear, Flash, or even the wheeled legs with Land Cruiser, you can use him just about anywhere and find a very quick and very easy, very comfortable place where you can use any of his parts very feasibly, very easily, and not really hit any particular pain point or leave any holes in your team.